Hi everyone and welcome to the Aries Moon Girl channel. I haven't done one longer video in a while and because I feel like we need a refresher about what this channel is about and what I mostly focus on. I'm going to do a superpower reading, and I'm going to do a superpower reading for my favorite artist, one of the most beautiful women in the world, most powerful, most put together. I have a video already on Rihanna on this channel. I did the video about Rihanna because Rihanna has my exact almost my exact chart, but then there's the opposite type of star, and that is Beyonce, which was always with me growing up. She was always my biggest inspiration, and she's my opposite sign, so she's a Virgo. And I was thinking, why not do a Beyonce superpower reading? Because everyone kind of admires Beyonce, but many people, or there's little analysis out there about her birth chart and what kind of makes her who she is. So without talking too much or wasting too much time, I'm gonna have a brief look at her chart. We're gonna look at 5 things, what we usually do, and we'll see what makes her so special or what's her superpower. Okay, so let's get into this. Good. You guys had a brief look at her chart. Now I'm just gonna have it in front of me and gonna look at it a bit, but while we're talking about it. So the first thing that I'm looking at in a superpower reading is where most of your planets are placed within the circle, within the astrological chart. As I talk in many of my videos, the first 4 houses are about self-development. Then we go into the area of your environment and developing in your family unit, in your close friends unit, in your relationship unit. Then we go to actual relationships and society issues where there's the partnership, give and take development. And the last 4 signs of the zodiac and that area here is more inclined towards the bigger picture in life, the macro things, the spiritual side of life, yeah, it has to do, if I would call it society, it would be too little, because it has to do with that download of information that comes upon a human being. Also the 12th house and the 10th house, this have to do with your talents and what you bring to the world as a whole. So what you are brought on this earth to bring to other people, or what you can download from the source and bring at a greater scale to the world. That's why I've seen a video, an analysis, a very good one, on what brings success and fame in a birth chart, and there it was said that most of the people that are very famous in the world, or very talented, very well-known musicians and so, have most of their planets in this area, and mostly in the 12th house. So the 12th house has to do with hidden talents, so with what you're downloading from the source, and many people don't talk about this. So the 12th house is not only a house of being introverted and all of this, it's a house of talent and of really getting into that direct connection with the heavens and downloading from there. So she has a lot of planets in her 12th house. She has Mars and the North Node in her 10th house, so the house of career, the house of social image, the house of popularity, of achievements in a worldly career sense. And then she has her Sun in the 11th house. The 11th house has to do also with I'm working out of this type of placement. I hope this is correct. But if her sun is in the 11th house, it has to do with bigger networks of people and having an impact at the level of a network of people. The sun can also be in the 12th house if we move a bit. The birth date, the birth time. So it's very dependent here. But what we know is that a lot of her planets are based in that quadrant of fame, of talent, of having a worldly purpose, of downloading from the source and bringing it to the world. Another area where we see that she has some planets is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd house. So these are houses of the self-development, and you usually see people that have this area of talents well developed, that they have some focus also on the persona. And when you are a star, you're developing your own self is a very important thing. So she has Pluto and Venus right on the cusp, so right on the on her rising sign, on her ascendant. Venus on the ascendant, beauty, of course. We know this. We know this also from Rihanna's chart, which, by the way, had exactly the same. A lot of focus in the 12th house and then towards the 1st house. And then she has her moon either in her 1st or her 2nd house, but I tend to incline here, okay, it's maybe in the 2nd house, and Neptune, which is the planet of communication, in the 3rd house. So these are all houses that have to do with self-development also, and you're developing your image, your sense of value, what you bring to the world as value, and your communication to others. So definitely she's one of the stars that kind of fits into that mark of having the focus on both what she can bring to the world, but also developing her own persona. Okay, so the second point that I said I'm gonna focus on, and I briefly touched on it, I'm still gonna work on this. She has her sun in Virgo in the 11th house. The sun in Virgo, I want to just talk a bit about Virgo, because I talk about in general, I talk about the placement of the sun, but Beyonce is a clear Virgo, although not many of her other planets are in Virgo. So she has a lot of Libra, a lot of emphasis on that Venusian beauty, the Leo emphasis as well. I would say that Beyonce is a Virgo through the perfection that she embodies. Virgos are they are the master of details. They are the masters of perfecting details. And Beyonce has reached such a level of perfection and excellence and in what she's achieving in the world, but she's achieving this step by step through perfecting her art. And people don't give Virgos enough credit for this perfectionism, this making every piece of the puzzle really fit, and making every piece of the puzzle really take you to the next level. So once you perfect something in an orchestra, like you go on to the next one and the next one and the next one until it gets to a higher level than you can ever imagine it. With her though, having the sun in the 11th house, it's not so much about her. 11th house placements are not very egotistical, or not very, they are very much about everyone else. They are very much about creating a network. They are very much about leading people into something. They have, 11th house has a responsibility about leading people and having a big impact on large networks of people, like taking them further. And with her with her son being there, and perfectionism. One thing which you notice about Beyonce, and it's a very Virgo trait that people don't appreciate enough. So for the level of how good she is and how beautiful and how exquisite her talents are, she's very modest. She's very modest. She always makes it about a bigger cause. She always makes it about the community. She always tries to represent something for the others, and she tries to do that, deliver that perfection, not only for her own ego, and I think this is where her most of her success stands in, but for representing something for the other people. And this would work with a son that's in the 11th house, definitely. Okay, the third aspect that we're gonna look into is the moon sign, and the moon is with her in Scorpio. Having the moon in Scorpio, I think the moon is in the second house from this placement. The moon in Scorpio with the Virgo sun makes an individual that you think you know, but you don't really know. So the moon in Scorpio is a lot deeper than most of us ever perceive. Scorpio is a water sign. The moon doesn't feel so good in Scorpio because Scorpio goes very deep within the emotions, and the moon likes to change emotions all the time. So if you go very deep into something, that can be disturbing for the subconscious. That could be disturbing for the emotions. That could be dragging you down. So one thing about Scorpio moons, you have to remember that the moon is ruled by so the moon is ruled by Cancer, so another water sign. But with Scorpio you get Mars there, and you get Pluto influences, and Mars is very ambitious. It's conflictual, so deep conflictual feelings, deep insecurities, deep, like deep holding on to things, deep pain, deep ambition. A lot of divas that if you look at them, most of how I'm talking about the Pisces moon as the grandiose moon, and I give you a lot of examples of great men that have succeeded with Pisces moon. There's a lot of divas that have this Scorpio moon, like Mariah Carey, Beyonce, J-Lo. So the Scorpio moon is really, it makes you tough. It makes you have to fight your demons at a very early point in life, and then keep on succeeding, keep on getting up, keep on getting through your strong emotions and accomplishing things. And I would say that probably she's very attached to whatever is close to her heart. This probably explains why she is so holding on to Jay-Z as well. She's very much protective of her feelings. She doesn't let a lot out there, but one thing that she lets a lot out through that moon is that ambition. And the Scorpio ambition is not like the Aries ambition, like you get it straight away and then it loses power. No, it gains more and more momentum, and it's constant because it's a fixed sign, and it's constant, and you don't see it at first because it's like slowly growing. So a very, very strong inner character with her. And with the moon being in the second house is a house of self-value, of values in life. It's the house of voice, so a beautiful voice. It's the house of family heritage. So with the moon being a second house, you're very grounded in these things. You're very grounded in your values. You're very grounded in your family. You're very grounded. These are the things that are closest to you, and no one is gonna take you away from that. So this, your power comes from that. So from that family source, from that self-value source, and I think this is what's happening with Beyonce as well. Okay, so I talked about the sun and the moon, and you see it, it's not, I wouldn't say that this is something that comes across as, you know, like, I don't know if Beyonce feels that she needs to be in the limelight. I think like more she feels she needs to perfect what she's doing. She feels like a duty to succeed and perfect things, and I think with her, more than with other stars, it's not so much about an ego-driven thing. I think she feels probably perfectly okay being at home, being more secluded and you know, like protectives, because these are feminine signs that like seclusion, protection, the sun and moon for hers. But I think that she has this duty, like, you know, like the duty to succeed for her network of people, for the wider good of people, for, in order to prove that she can perfect something, in order to consistently drive things forward. That's how I perceive these two placements here. Okay, good. So now we're at the North Node and South Node, and here it starts to finally make sense. So her North Node is in Leo, it's conjuncting Mars, and it's in the 10th house, close to her midheaven. The North Node is our direction in life. The North Node is what we need to learn to embody in life. The North Node is what doesn't come so easy to us. Is her North Node really in Leo? Yeah, it's Leo first degrees or so. End of Cancer, beginning of Leo. I would say it's Leo, and definitely in conjunction with that Mars in Leo. So at very karmic degrees, right on that cusp. I'm gonna call it Leo. It might be, yeah, it's Cancer Leo, so it's a really that's cusp on those last degrees there. So I'm gonna consider both. But with the North Node in the 10th house, your path in life is to excel in your career, to excel in your, to be renowned, to be the best in what you're doing. That's your path in life. So she's lucky enough, because many of us do not reach our full potential. We don't fully go for what we desire in life, when we don't fully accomplish what we stand for. So with her North Node there, she definitely went for what she should have went in this life. And the most interesting thing is that it has Mars on it. So Mars drives you. Mars in Leo, I have a video on this channel about Mars in Leo. Mars in Leo overcompensates everything. And if you look at Beyonce, she has that presence of, you feel like something is fiery in her. You like her image is, you know, I'm Sasha Fierce, and her body and everything. Although it's earth and water, you know, like you feel some fire in her. And that's, I think, because she has that Mars in her 10th house. So in what we see, in what close to her midheaven, so in the image that she projects out to the world, we see that fire and we see that drive. And with the North Node there, like that North Node wants more and more and more. So the North Node in the 10th house with Mars, this is the image that she portrayed to the world. I don't think she's like that at home. I think she likes her quiet, peace, perfectionist, driven self. But I think like that North Node and the Mars is what we see. And we see that very powerful image. with her South Node being at the last degrees of Capricorn and Aquarius, in her 4th house, I think the balance here was 4th house has to do with the house, with family and all of this. So I think she probably feels most comfortable. We feel most comfortable where our South Node is. That's what we embody easier. That's where what comes natural to us. I feel like probably she feels most comfortable at home, you know, like very protected, very much just surrounded by the people that are very close to her. But then she's driven to do that, yeah, the 10th house focus, and to really accomplish something in this life. And I think there's a push and pull between South Node and North Node always, and we tend to fall into our South Node because it's easier for us. But the North Node is what we kind of need to achieve in this life in order to feel accomplished. So I think she's probably on the right track with that. With it being in Capricorn, though, at the last degrees, Capricorn is the 10th house ruler, so there's something in there. There's an exchange between this family life and the career life, family, career, family, and family of origins and a close environment. So I think like she's always being pushed and pulled between the two. And yeah, I think that's the push and pull. Although I would say that definitely from what I see, Beyonce is not someone that wants to be in the spotlight so much. So Beyonce is someone that feels she has to do it, but I don't think that I don't think she's mainly driven by that. I think she's mainly driven by her very close surroundings and not disappointing the people in her life. Good. And we're at the last two, and I'm gonna talk about Venus. I talked a bit about Mars, and I said it's in the 10th house. I said that this is what's driving her, and with it in a combination with the South Node, with the North Node, this is what's kind of pushing her out in the world. And Mars in Leo is so powerful. It comes through, those Leo's placements come through so powerful in people that have them. So Mars in Leo is so visible on people. You see it in how they look, you see it in how they go about things. They are so much, they have an incredible force. Like Mars in Leo is like Mars on steroids. It's like, and it embodies it, because Aries goes for it like that, but Mars in Leo embodies it, and their bodies are extremely beautiful and toned, and you know, like they can do so much. And once they have put their mind to something, again, fixed sign, that Mars really takes over, and they embody that Mars. Like that's what I said in my video, and that's what I still believe about Mars. And definitely Beyonce embodies that Leo Mars. Like she shows it on her body, and she can execute so much through it. Like she goes after things, but then she doesn't go after them in a front on, but embodying that energy. So I think that's what the main things about Mars. But then let's not exclude the fact that she has Venus in Libra on her rising sign. Conjunct Pluto, though. She has this scorpionic thing, like Pluto also on her rising sign, but in Libra as well. And overall, like her communication, so Mercury also in Libra, and then Saturn, and then Jupiter. So a lot of Libra in her 12th house, but that Venus, the ruler of Libra, in Libra on the rising sign. Beauty is very important to her. Like beauty in everything that she creates, beauty in everything that she embodies, and that Venusian beauty is never to be ignored. I think Neptune also gives you a different type of beauty, but that Venusian beauty is like real physical beauty. So you see it like beautiful features, well dressed, well put together always, like, you know, like Libra likes to put themselves together, likes to be arranged exactly like they need to be arranged, likes to, like, you know, like wear exactly what they need to wear. And also Venus in Libra likes the partnership. They like to have that, you know, like partner in crime that they can count on. And that's what Jay-Z is to her. Like she really depends on that connection and on that give and take with Jay-Z in that case. But as I said, for Rihanna with Venus on her rising sign, although Rihanna had it like me in Aries, so a lot more aggressive. Or so this Venusian Venus, it's even more beauty and perfection. Rihanna is a bit more raw, Beyonce is a bit more put together, and this is how it's always worked. She was a bit more, you know, like conservative also, but put together in a very beautiful, pleasant way. And she's just beautiful. That's what Beyonce is known for, and it's perfectly okay like that. With Pluto there, it gives a bit of that mysterious vibe though, again. So then again, I'm saying like the scorpionic vibes, you know, like Venus with Pluto. Like she's very intense in her passions and emotions. So she's very obsessive in her, because Pluto on Venus works a bit like Venus in Scorpio as well. So Venus in Scorpio has a bit of an obsession, you know, like with a certain person, or with a certain, you know, like the loved one is your obsession, or it has a bit of a more in-depth feel to it. So because otherwise Libra can be a bit more out there, you know, like floating, but this kind of grounds her, and it grounds her look as well. It grounds her beauty. It makes it more, you know, like mysterious. There's a bit, also a bit of darkness. If you look at her most recent art and all of this, like she likes to play a bit with that darkness, which I kind of like, as she kind of embodies that scorpionic side of hers, which I think at the beginning of the career maybe she didn't. Yeah, so that's about Beyonce. If I saw this chart, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily, I would say someone talented, someone very much focused on beauty. I would see probably the voice with the moon in the second house, but I wouldn't say that someone necessarily desperate to be in the limelight. So I think there is a side to her that feels better just through the creation of what she does and through perfecting that, but I don't think she's as driven, you know, like to be all about her and out there. Although the sun in the 11th house, groups of people, large networks of people, and all of this, that can work like that indeed. But I would say modest placement somehow, perfection, beauty, and a bit of wildness. Yeah, that's Beyonce's Superpower. Have a look at the Rihanna video that I have on her Superpower, and let me know what you guys think. If you want the Superpower reading, go to my website, aries-moongirl.com. Have a look there at the prices, write me an email, and I'll do one for you guys. Or if you would like one for free, or you can join the membership of this channel and you get the free Superpower reading. Until next time, I'm Aries Moon Girl. I care about the stars, but most of all I care about you, and this is why I do these videos. Thank you.